I'ma give you a war story, man. Where's your mother, man? You know, one time I was up north, man. They had this dude, man. It was on New Year's. I'll never forget, man. We was inside Attica, man. We was in C Block in Attica, man. And it was this dude in there making mad noise. It was for New Year's, man. This dude was making mad noise. Like, he was yelling, screaming. Dudes was trying to give him a cigarette. He ain't want no cigarette. You know, dudes got their little shit or whatever, know what I mean? Getting their head right. They try to offer the nigga some head right. This nigga ain't want none of that. Only thing that nigga was doing was screaming and hollering. The police come down. It's Attica. Remember, believe every story that y'all ever hear about Attica Correctional Facility, because that's the worst prison that I ever been to in my life. But watch this right here. Police come down there and they hollering at boy. They like, yo, chill. Be easy, we gonna have the nurse come out. Boy ain't wanna listen. He starts spitting at the police, going crazy, man. This nigga was just going crazy, kicking his gate door, telling the police better get the fuck away from himself. We splashed him with some shit, whatever. This nigga was going crazy. Police backing up, they talking they shit, but letting them know, nigga, like, I'm telling you, keep playing, nigga. We coming up in there, we gonna whoop your ass. You better calm down. Dude don't want to listen, whatever the case may be. So that shit go on for about another hour, man. This nigga hollering and screaming. We on the gate, you know, when I mean we on the gate, it's, you know, a gallery. It's like a prison living setup, you know what I mean? Where one side is bars and the other side is same type of bars. But in Attica, we was in C Block, so we was in these closed off cages, like these closed off cells. Shit look crazy, man. Any old way, it looked like them apartment buildings that they just changed on Lot Avenue. That the doors they had before look just like some fucking cells. That shit look crazy. Any old way, we on the gate. We ain't even paying attention. Like, we already done became acclimated to this dude screaming. We ain't care no more. We doing our thing, right? Yo, homie, this is my word. By within that hour, like I said, out there happened. See the police and the nurse shooting down at the dude's cell, bam. You know what I'm saying? Whole time the kid was screaming, they put the police in front of his cell, you know what I'm saying? Had a nigga just sitting there observing the dude, you know what I mean? Or whatever, you know, the dude said later that they seen the police talking to the dude, whatever, however. They come shooting down there, it's the nurses, like 2 nurses, and like 3-4 COs, they come shooting down the gallery. Open up the cell, open up the cell. They run screaming, open up the cell. Open up A cell, open up A cell. They open the cell, boom. When he opens up the cell, dude hollering, screaming, ah. I mean, he's screaming now with a different type of passion and a different type of, you know, energy in his voice compared to the passion he was screaming with earlier. The passion he was screaming with earlier was maybe more anger and resistance and defiance. This passion he was screaming with this time was out of sheer pain, like out of fucking abject raw pain. This dude screaming, going crazy with it, your homie. They came in with the stretcher and all that and got that dude up out of there. They shot him fast. The nurse and them was on each side, shot him fast. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't know what the fuck happened, but I know one thing, we seen blood coming, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like coming off the stretcher, like this nigga was leaking. It was coming off the sheet, but the sheet was like hanging. And so you seen the shit, like they tried to wrap his shit up in a ball and like just keep the shit wrapped in the ball. Yo, homie, this is my world, kid. He get up out of there. Boom, they take line, screaming, going, Police get him up out of there. So about 20 minutes after that, Porter pull up to our little section, cause you know, like, we them boys, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, wherever we at, like, we run the show. That's how that go. And so niggas pull up and shit, and they tell us, like, yo, man, CO in the bubble said, you know what I'm saying, boy down there had a razor, man, bubble razor, man. Nigga chopped this shit off. Like, nigga, like, what? He like, yeah, like, police said, you know what I mean, boy was down there, you know what I'm talking about? Like, all that hollering and screaming, like, he was trying to get some attention. He felt nobody was paying attention to him, so he chopped this shit off. This was on New Year's, like in 2013. It had to be around that time, or maybe the Super Bowl, because I know Russell Wilson and them was playing. That's when he was on the Seahawks, man. And yo, homie, look, they said the nigga chopped this shit off, homie, look. So boom, they send the porter up in there. He go up in there to clean the spot out. Like, he got to clean the cell out and shit, you know what I'm saying? So as he in there cleaning, he coming back to us, you know what I'm saying, with like, you know what I mean, like fucking wads of fucking paper towel or brown paper towel that he had. He like, look, y'all, yo, look how this nigga was in here bleeding. You know what I'm saying? Like, that nigga was bleeding out. Like, how that nigga was coming past with the gloves and the shit on the brown paper towel. So I'm like, oh, shit, yo, what the fuck? You get that shit away from myself. So he throws the shit in the garbage, boom, everything go bad, right? The night hope, it's like, damn, all night, nigga cut his dick off. This shit crazy. Yo, man, couple days, man, motherfucker pull up, man, tell us, yo, man, police back there with him gay, this shit was a bubble razor the nigga had. How he had a bubble razor? He was already on suicide watch, so he ain't had nothing in his cell. You know what I'm saying? If he would have had like a scalpel or something different like that, you know what I mean, a gem star, that would have been a little bit different, because now, you know, it could have been, you know, associated to the fact that because he had the gem scar, because he had the scalpel, they ain't know nothing about it, he had a cheat. You know what I mean? Like, you know, this is how he got that in. But nah, that wasn't the case, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they had the police the whole time back there standing in front of cell on observation. Because they were saying that, you know, boy was mental and he needed to be observed until they could find, you know, the psych or whoever was supposed to came to see him. The other dudes that was down there on the gate was like, yo, they seen the police like leaning on this, because he had a chair back there, the CO. And they said they seen the CO on the dude gate, like kicking it with him, you know what I mean, talking to him. You know what I'm saying? Dude said the CO was trying to give him a cigarette. Boy ain't want the cigarette. He just wanted some, you know, MHU attention, because he didn't want to be in that house. He didn't feel safe. They said they see the CO talking to him. So now once you say that you see the CO talking to him, and boy end up with his joint cut off, and he was under observation, he ain't had no weapons in that cell, nobody was allowed to go to that boy's cell, the question should behoove you is how the fuck he get the razor, right? Not only how did he get the razor, but it was a state-issued razor. A bubble razor, if you will. So even if we say, yo, but maybe he had a bubble razor up in there, remember, he was inside the cell that he was supposed to be under observation. Police, and he ain't supposed to have nothing in that cell. You understand saying? What a coincidence it is and was for him to have ended up with a state-issued razor, right? Where he was able to do some harm to himself, because he was already off kilter. That's that word again, off kilter. He was already off kilter. That means he was wibbly wobbly inside his mind, right? Under observation, hollering, screaming, making noise. He ain't want no medical attention. They was looking for MHU to come. Next thing you know, CO down there observing the nigga, making sure he supposed to be cool. Boy end up next thing you know with a state-issued razor. A razor that our tax dollars pay for. A razor that's supposed to be maintained and taken and kept in inventory. Right? A razor that was state-issued. Let me continue to reiterate that. A state-issued razor to a guy that would have mental health issues and supposed to have been under observation, who's already hollering, screaming. Y'all homie, man. In my view of it, I know boy tossed him the razor, man, and said, go ahead and get rid of it, man. You crazy enough, let me see something. I know that for a fact in Attica, them police did that shit. Because that's how them police give it up in Attica. That is a fact. If any of your relatives ever told you a story about Attica, I don't give a fuck what the story was about. Please, I'm begging you, y'all, believe them. I was in Attica 3 times, dig that. 3 fucking times in Attica Correctional Facility. Facility that they want to close down like they want to close down Angola and Rikers Island, but never did and never will. And I was in that motherfucker 3 times. I don't know how I got back there twice, because the first time I left is because the police jumped me. You know, I think the first time I left is because the shit happened with the homies in 97, 98 in Attica, and they pushed me up out of there. But then when I went back, I think in 2011, the police jumped me. So they brought me back in 2013. How they was able to do that? Whatever, that's how that shit go up top, y'all. You understand what I'm talking about? But the police, in my view of it, gave boy a bubble razor, state-issued razor, and told him, go ahead, man, you might as well go ahead and put some work in. And that crazy motherfucker chopped his dick off, man. And that is a real-life fucking story. War story as it real is. That's a real motherfucking story, homie. And that happened in Attica Correctional Facility in 2013. either around New Year's or Super Bowl when Russell Wilson and them fucked the Super Bowl up. Whichever year it was, I know I lost a bunch of cigarettes on Russell Wilson because that was my thing in there, y'all. I used to gamble crazy. But I ain't gamble if I couldn't pay my debt or didn't have an understanding what the guy was gambling with. That ass betting shit'll keep you in some bullshit, homie. Can't do that, homie. It ain't gangster. And I'm out.